Senator Ding. Senator Enriquez. Senator Espinoza. Senator Gray. Senator Hammond. Senator Jodha. Senator Justice Williams.
Present.
Senator Carlin.
Here.
Senator Lee.
Here.
Senator Putty. Here. Senator Bittner.
Here.
Senator Singh.
Present.
Senator Tang.
Present.
Transfer Representative for Panuri.
Present.
Senator Torres.
It's
And Senator Jafar. We'll now move on to recognition of Olympic land. The ACC recognizes that UC Berkeley sits on the territory of Richmond, the original landscape of the Chicano-speaking Olympic people, the successors of the sovereign Roman band of Alameda County. This region continues to be of great importance to the Mohawk tribe and other familiar descendants of the Roman band. We recognize that every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since its institution founded in 1863. Consistent with our values of community, inclusion, and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationship with Native peoples. As members of the Berkeley community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we stand, but also we recognize that the Mohawk Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members of Berkeley and broader Bay Area today. Now we'll move on to adoption of the agenda. Yes. And then at this moment, is there a motion on the agenda for this evening's Senate meeting?
I move to amend the agenda to add nomination of Giselle as the Senate Admin Assistant as item D under the consent calendar.
Senator Lee moves to add Giselle as Senate Admin Assistant as item D under the consent calendar. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Senator Justice Williams. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, motions passed. Is there any other motions for tonight's agenda?
I move to add committees breakout as item B under immediate consideration.
Senator Lee moves to add committee breakouts as item B on immediate consideration. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Ding. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, motions passed. Is there now another motion on the agenda?
I move to move items A through F under new business to items C through H under immediate consideration.
Senator Lee moves to move items A through F under new business to
Item C through H.
C through H on immediate consideration. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Ding. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the motion is passed. Are there now any other motions on the agenda?
Point.
Point of inquiry.
Does the last name substantial does that need to change?
Yes.
Okay, I move to change the last name spaces.
Senator Carlin moves to amend the last name of the Women's Spaces Director to add an extra A after the Y. So it'd be YAMA. Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Senator Schieber. Are there any objections? Oh,
No, not in.
okay. Okay. Seeing here none, motion is passed. Now is there any questions on the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay, Senator Carlin moves to approve the agenda as amended.
My last name.
Your last name spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we have a motion to fix Senator Schieber's last name on the committee appointments?
I make a motion to remove the.
Okay, so moved by Senator Schieber. Is there a second? Second by Senator Aguilar. Are there any objections? And then what exactly is the correction?
Yeah, it's perfect now. Thank you.
It's good now? Yeah. Okay. Now are there any last motions on the agenda for tonight's meeting? Okay. Senator Carlin moves to approve tonight's agenda as amended. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Torres. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, motion is passed and the agenda has been. Okay, we don't have any guest announcements for tonight. So we move on to. Okay. At this point in time, any member of the public may make general public comment relating to any issue that concerns the association or its members. Individuals who wish to speak may make one general public comment which may not exceed 2 minutes. Speakers cannot yield their time at any point. A reminder that this portion of the meeting is dedicated to general matters relating to the ACC. Public comments related to items on the consent calendar or immediate consideration may not be made at this time and are reserved for later in the meeting. The Senate reserves the right to cut off speakers who have exceeded their allotted time, interrupt speakers who are discussing matters related to items on the consent calendar or immediate consideration, remove members of the general public from the meeting if they constitute a serious disruption to the orderly conduct of Senate proceedings. At this time, if you'd like to make a public comment, please make your way to the front of the room and line up on. Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will now move on and state response to general public comment. And we will now move on to executive officer report, starting off with our ACC president, Mark Sullivan.
Hey everyone, be good luck. I say good luck.
Whichever tab is in each station. Yeah, so that's it's only drag it. Okay. Sorry, there first. Okay. Okay. And then. You can see it and you can drag it and make it full screen. I just don't see it from here. You see? I think I did this one. This time. Oh, there it goes. And then you can click by accident. You can see the cursor on the screen.
Perfect, okay. Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing good. A bit of a while. Okay, welcome guys. Hope you had a good first day of class and super excited. Congrats to the senators for being appointed to this position and elected to this position. Hope you guys have a good year. Okay, intro to the OP leadership. My name is Mark Sullivan. I'll be serving as the president. I'm 4 years. Cheer, African American Studies and Legal Studies. PJ is my chief, who's over there. He's not here today sadly, but he's a second year political science and social welfare and African American Studies minor. And then our chief, she's right there. She's a 4th-year political economy and legal studies major. And then lastly, Bella, who's also right there, is my head of staff, 4th-year conservation and research studies. So these are the people to reach out to. If you end up needing anything, they'll be helping us out through the year. And also Leah will be our contact guy. So yeah, shout out Leah for being here too as well. A bit of the events that I've been to this past few weeks. So went to the Black Student Orientation Walk and was to speak at that. Did the ASUC swearing in ceremony yesterday, so congrats to everyone else swearing in yesterday. I still have the Carol Chris Connected Learning Center opening, which was on the 21st, which was an amazing event to kind of open up the space for Moffitt. And then I also went on the tour of the Caltopia Leadership Tour with Sydney and her team, which was also amazing as well as with my team as well. And I spoke at convocation to 9,000 youth students who were coming in, which was honestly so beautiful. A bit of the speech was mostly on responsibility, so your personal responsibility to yourself, your relational responsibility to those above you, and your social responsibility to the world. And then we at the ASCC had a GA and Chancellor Cabinet intro lunch, which was a very intro lunch, very interesting lunch alongside the GA. Me and Christy, the GA president, were able to have a very long conversation in terms of, work that we want to do this next upcoming year, as well as speaking on divestment. We also will be talking on Calabooza tomorrow on Sprout, so if you guys are on Sprout between 12 to 12:15, feel free to stop by. Me and Christy again will be here tomorrow. Some of the meetings I've been to recently, went to the UCOP Student Leadership Summit, which was very interesting. It was from 20 to 21st, where we talked about basically free expression and time-based management principles as well as financial aid. So if you're ever interested in any of those things, feel free to reach out and we'll send the notes. Celine was also there too as well, and she's able to take great notes too as well. So feel free to reach out to any of us. Went to the UC Council of Residents meeting a couple times during the summer. And at the Compliance and Enterprise Risk Committee, CERC. And then also met with Pelosi Institute, which is gonna be coming to our campus, to talk about what students may need within that institute. Then at the Montessori video, then also, met with the ASUC and presented at the ASUC Charter Program Summit. Then took a Daily Cal office tour, shout out to Daily Cal. And then, we'll be having a meeting tomorrow alongside the GA president, Chrissy, and a bunch of people from the GA talking about UCPD accountability specifically. So yeah, add that. And then what I was up to during the summer, these are some of the meetings that I went to during the summer and kind of was able to connect with different committees. On our campus, with Life Safety Committee, Financial Aid Committee, Financial Aid Office, and then at our ESO staff meeting, met with Mirrors of Palestine and the Cal Alumni Association on several different occasions. Feel free to take a picture if you want to ask me any of this. I have 5 minutes, so I want to make sure that we have the time. And then met with basically Center, went to ISC, and I also interned during the summer, so it was very interesting to be able to do that, especially with such an amazing member. And yeah, that's really what I did during the summer. And yeah, any questions? Thank you guys.
Sorry, okay. Okay, amazing. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Hi everyone, welcome to your first Senate. I'm so excited for you all. I know it's gonna be a great year. And here's a welcome slide. I'm so proud of you all. Congratulations on being elected and for being a part of the ACC Senate this year. I hope you understand that it's a very big honor and also a really big responsibility. So please take that with care and do with that what you will, and really just do your best during your term to represent and serve the student body in the best way that you can fit, and also respect your fellow senators and just make our association proud, because I'm very proud of you. So shout out also to our hopefully Vice Chair Sabrina, who we will be appointing today as well. Okay. So introductions, most of you all already know me because I chatted with you all over the summer, but my name is Sydney. I'm a fourth year majoring in political science combined with public policy, and I'll be serving as the executive vice president this year and chair of the Senate. And then these are my spouse, Sabrina. She's a fourth year majoring in political science and American studies, and she'll also be serving as our Senate vice chair. And then Harvard Klein, who's in the back right there in the red shirt, who will also be serving as one of my heads of staff. Harvard's third year majoring in political economy with a minor in English. So if you're ever anything, feel free to reach out to them, and especially trying to build a relationship with Sabrina as well as Senate vice chair. I should be here every Senate meeting at this table. Okay, so these are some meetings I've been up to. Meetings that we had in December, Margaret and I had a meeting with Mirrors of Palestine to kind of discuss our relationship for the upcoming school year and what we want that to look like. And then I also had a coffee chat with almost every single person in the Senate class to kind of discuss your goals for the school year. what you want to do during your term and how I can help make that happen. And also discuss what committees you wanted to sit on, which now you all know which one you're sitting on, you're gonna be appointed today. So I'm really excited about that, that was both my summer. I also hosted the intersemester committee, which I will talk about in the next slide, but basically the intersemester committee acts as a body between the previous school year and the next school year, which basically finishes any sort of legislation that is proposed to the Senate in the summertime, and it consists of 4 senators from the outgoing Senate class, and then 4 from the incoming Senate class, and we work on this legislation together. We had 3 meetings, one in June, one in July, and one in August, and I'll talk more about that in the next slide. I also met with the Student Food Collective to talk about how the ACC can help them retain their space as they're facing a lot of like increases in fees from the university for things that they don't even use. Like, for example, they're now being charged for like an elevator fee, but they don't even have an elevator in Berkeley Student Food Collective, so they're trying to kind of push back to the university on how to maintain their space and how the ACC can help in that process as well, whether that's through a resolution or just support from elected or appointed officials, senators. And then I also had a meeting recently with Darkwell Fit Studio as the EVP office oversees the dance studio space on Bancroft and Shag within Reckwell, so kind of talking about grant strategy and how we can best utilize that space and how we can advertise it to students. It was actually only used up to less than half of the percent of how much it was able to be used last school year, so majority of the time it was empty when it would have been for space for a lot of dance groups specifically on campus, so figuring out how we can better advertise that space. And then I also went on the Council Good Tour with Margaret, and we also went on a tour recently with the Daily Cal team and office to kind of build relationships between the Daily Cal and the ACC for this upcoming school year as well. And then I also had a meeting with UC Berkeley Margaret and alongside our wonderful CFO with me to discuss a contract for the big conference that they do every year where they host 7 Waterloo wins at the International Hotel in San Francisco, so helping them through that process. And then attending some admin office trainings with Matt and the admin office team and the oversight committee, and then hosted a mock Senate meeting this past Friday for you all. So you could better be prepared for this meeting and the rest of the school year, and also be committee appointments during that time. And then lastly, also presented at the ACC Charter Program Summit to all of our amazing charter programs. Okay, for intersemester committee, we had, I believe, 6, 1, 2. Yeah, so we had 6 resolutions, 5 of them passing, 1 of them not. So the resolution from June was SR 2526-143, urging the California State Legislature to include public higher education student housing investments in affordable housing Act 2026, which passed by intersemester committee, and then SR 2526-144 in support of the reestablishment of a diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice, or DEIJ, working group in the Campus Advisory Committee on Stability or tax, which also passed. And then also for July, SR 2526-145, structural reform for greater legislative consolidation and interpretive clarity, which also passed. And then SR 2526-137, University of Associated Students in the University of California, official letter in support of rigorous CC-specific review prior to any decision on standardized testing and admission policy at the University of California, which also passed. And then lastly, for August, we have SR 2526-148, the Executive Restructuring Act, which passed, and then SR 2526-149, minor improvements, campaign rules, and operations, which did not pass only because we didn't have enough senators from the outgoing Senate class who voted on it. So there was not enough votes for it to pass. Okay, and that was the semester committee. Thank you all who were a part of that. And then just on some ongoing projects for our office right now. In the process of finishing our phase 2 recruitment, we're also planning phase needs batch for this semester. So tentatively set for the first week of October. So I'll reach out to you with more details when you all can all join in, collaborate, and volunteer for the event. Really excited to host again. And then continue Garfield Fit Studio promotion and programming. We're filming a video with them tomorrow actually. Just kind of start off our campaign series of better utilizing the space and advertising it to the student body. And then also working on the EVP website, which was a project from EVP Carrillo from 2 years ago. He started that in his office, and it basically consolidated everything that the EVP office does and all the resources that it has to offer, but it was never completed, so we're working on finalizing it, getting all the details sorted out, and finally launching this school year. And upcoming, you all will be hearing from me for ACC and campus committee appointments. I know we have one tonight for Maddie for one of the campus committees, but I'll also be reaching out to you all about the different ACC and campus committees that you all have the opportunity to be a part of. And you'll be getting some more information from me on that after fall conference. So don't ask too many questions about that till after fall conference, because we just need to make sure that the advocacy gets discussed. And then contacts, if you ever need me, my email, and then my UP sheets at ac.org, and then Margaret's community emails are right there. But other than that, are there any questions for me? No? Okay, thank you. And then guys, our academic affairs vice president.
Alright, at the AUP report, everyone doesn't know, I'm Dylan, I will be serving as the academic affairs vice president this year. That is me, and just want to introduce my chief of staff, I have the best chief of staff here, and so we feel like you can always come to them if there's anything that, can reach me or whatever, so we'll be working close together. You want to say a little bit about yourself? Cool.
Hi guys, if you don't know already, my name is Tia. I'm a fourth year studying legal studies and sociology. I am Dylan's external chief of staff. So anything in terms of communications, or if you represent a community that you feel like has any interest with academic policy, please come speak with us and we will do our best to help you guys out.
Well, yeah, just wanted to, for those that don't know, the AP, it's kind of behind the scenes, but I'm really trying to bring it out to the public and students, this year, and so the three things that really our office does is that it's really focused on academic policy. There's a lot of policies that go on behind the scenes, if academic policy affects everyone here on campus, and so, understanding that and making it digestible for the student body, really want to do that this year, and that the AP is the main advocate for that, working directly with the administration. Through committees, committees is one way we do that, it's the second thing we do. And through different campus affairs, there's a lot of committees on campus that decisions go through, explaining past decisions, and so I want to be the kind of conduit for explaining what's going on, and then also advocacy through these committees this year. And so that also includes student fees. That's one thing that we're very focused on, involved with the different fee committees, and then appointing UL senators as well to these different committees. This summer, there was kind of three main things we did. One thing was the standardized custody pushback, as Sydney mentioned, we did pass that resolution through the ISC, basically sending a letter to the regents and the system-wide academic senate, kind of saying, you got to have student consultation before you even look at this idea, because the thing, as you know, faculty wanted to put this item on September, we need to reinstate at the SAT, ACT. We're just saying you can't even decide, you gotta look at the issue first, because there's a lot of old data, but at least have a student consultation in that. So that was the focus of that. And then transport articulation, we've been looking at this for a while. I think we're finally met with Varsha today, trying to get some questions to the vice provost academic planning to put in the annual progress reports for each, which is how they review the different departments here on campus. So getting them to ask questions to the departments around like how how they're helping you transfer articulate their courses here at campus and helping them that. So and then recruitment and office admin stuff. Just the priorities, really just want to focus on student-centered policy changes, all of those, really transparency around these policies and helping students navigate them, and then academic equity and student support. That student-centered policy changes include adjunct support measures, as you know, the adjunct deadline is getting moved up next year, so we want to make sure there's some policies in place that complement these to ensure that students still have that flexibility within that short time period, so that can include some late changes to schedules as additional, we have 2 on average, so we're gonna make that 2, 3, or 4. And then that could also include, moving up past the after line, or moving back, sorry. So, yeah, international transport articulation, and then enrollment, we can do that, students, I guess, which classes that they want, need, to graduate. And then transparency, making sure there's media access, for students to the administration, that includes senators as well. And then, yeah, oversight of student fees, then figuring out the AI kind of issue, we're still figuring out if this is gonna be a campus-wide, policy, or it's gonna be department by department. And so it's kind of starting this conversation within each department. And yeah, so, yeah, and then academic equity, student support, advising services, DCAL board revitalization, we've got to make sure that students who are trying to do DCALs, it's clear and easy for them, there's been a lot of issues with that, so that's just kind of an overview of what I really want to focus on. But some committee appointments, that's one thing we really do in this office, is kind of the liaison for the different committees, for senators, and then a lot of the campus-wide specifically, so there's 60 of them. Next week, I'll hopefully have a form out for y'all to apply to some of those and, help with some of the liaison that, Nikita's been on one of those committees. And she will say, oh, we finish up, okay. All right, those are some of the committees, past meetings, post, survey working group meeting, I was to get some questions out.
Do we have a motion to extend time?
I'll wrap it up. Okay.
Senator John Hoff moves to extend time by 5 minutes, seconded by Senator Akbalian. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the motion has passed and your time has been extended.
Okay, so a lot of these are intro meetings with different admin, no academy, to discuss our collaborate, so please, we'd love to sign up with all of y'all for one-on-ones, so you can understand our priority, how we can help you this year. And then you'll get a transfer articulation meeting, finally, some of those questions, committees, figuring that out, and then, a lot of current stuff, other intro meetings, and yeah. Sign up for one, so if you have BCAL or my number, I can get that out somehow, but yeah, please sign up, schedule time on my BCAL. And yeah, you don't have to contact me for my number, well, thank you all, pleasure working with you this year.
And then next is our external affairs vice president, Selena.
Okay, hi everyone, these are my updates over the summer, we AVP did a lot, but just for introduction, if you haven't met me, my name is Selena Mendez. I'm serving as the external affairs vice president, and for those who don't know, I'm a voting member on the UC State Board of Directors. So anything that will be a UC-wide priority is something that I have a vote on, so if you guys ever have concerns over anything, please feel free to schedule a meeting with me. And yeah, something over the summer, I did study abroad and I visited 5 countries and 2 Spanish islands to study abroad, which is really fun. This is our cabinet for right now. We have Abdullah, which is our external chief of staff. He's back there. If you guys want to say hi. Natalie, who's my internal chief of staff. Mila Medellin, who's our co-organizing director. Natalia Cornejo Ayers, who's our co-organizing director. Luke de la Rosa, our co-legislative director, and as well as Clarinda, who's our co-legislative director. You guys might see them. They were part of the AVP office last year as well. Meetings and events that I attended, I was a part of the College for All Advocacy Day, and I gave testimony on SB 2212 or SB 2212 to update Title IX language over AI created list of materials. We have our UCSA orientation, virtual and in person, as well as meeting with the AAVP for insight on SAT and SAT with Oliver O'Reilly. There's semester committee, a lot of introductory meetings as Dylan said as well. Something that I'm really excited that I was invited to was to present at the Latina orientation or familia orientation hosted by the Assistant CLSE. I was a guest speaker and was able to speak to new students. And under EAO, we met with a lot of the divisions of like vice chancellors as well as the chancellor's cabinet. I was able to bring up things like surveillance and automatic license plate readers. What the lower admissions rates were for Latino and Black students with Emmy, as well as a gubernatorial debate with Gina, which is our Associate Vice Chancellor for Government Relations, as well as met with Councilwoman Navarra about the 4x6 committee and ACA 18 Form 18. Some projects that we have set for this year is a governor's debate, vote Chala, Spur will be hosting a housing forum, as well as, our office is spearheading the debate pass referendum. As well as ballot poll, which is a statewide competition to get students registered to vote. So if you guys have any big community events, please let us know if we can table. We'll have voter registration cards in multiple languages as well. If you guys want to table and want those requested, please let my office know and we can order those for you all. We're also working on the Race Health for Pell campaign, which is to increase and institutionalize the Pell grant. ACA 18, which is in suspension, has until the 31st of August, so if you guys want to do voting, you share that out with your community, please do. We're trying to do a city council candidate forum, more standardization for SB 98, which is the notification of when ICE is present on campus, as well as ALPR, like advocacy against that from our city. SBSF budget request with the student advocate office, and then we're also working on an EAP advocacy tracker, which is a more transparent measure of having all the EAP initiatives, meetings that we have on there, and we're working with the chief technology officer to launch that. Something super excited that we went over in student organizing summit was our UCSA campaigns. We were able to go on these, which is the Acquire campaign is to make students eligible for CalFresh, fund the UC, which is to preserve and extend the Pell Grant, Racial Justice Now, which is to stop the UC from reinstating the SAT or ACT, Student Enacting and Environmental Defense. We're calling on the UC to release enrollment data, election practices, and more data desegregation, as well as UC We Vote, which is to empower UC students to run for local office. These applications for vice chair are open until tomorrow. If you guys can scan the QR code to share with anybody in your communities, you guys can apply to lead any of these initiatives throughout all the UCs as well. And then a little bit of updates. We had our student organizing summit, which was our first conference over the summer. We had the most applicants from all the UCs. We were able to bring 24 out of the 25 delegates, and we were able to bring some of our senators came with us, which is really fun to have them join us. We voted on all of our UCSA campaigns, and we also had for our UC Berkeley delegation voted in as an exec position. So Duke will be our government relations chair for all the UCs. Clarinda is our chief financial officer for UCSA, and Talia will serve as our UCSA vice chair. Which also leads me to UCSA appointed officers. We have a lot of Berkeley representation on the UC board this year. So serving for our disability justice officer, we have David Yang. Our international student affairs officer, Rain, labor relations, Gabby, these are their emails if you guys want to reach out to them for anything. And then I was also part of the UCOP Leadership Summit with Margaret. We heard from President Milligan, as well as attended lots of breakout and plenary sessions about campus climate, immigration, updates, as well as the UC budget, and had a committee meeting with all of our counterparts in the GA and the other city governments in the UCs.
Is there a motion to extend time?
1 minute.
Move to accept time by 1 minute.
Senator Carlin moves to extend time by 1 minute, seconded by Senator Espinoza. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the motion is passed.
This is my last slide. These are exciting coffee chats. I want everybody to take out their phone and scan them. I want to meet with all the senators because something that I really want to do for the AVP office is to be really in touch with our senators and our culture communities on campus. I want to support you guys all with your advocacy efforts. Please let us know how the AVP can be a resource for you all, tap into those communities. And even if you guys have any questions about projects that we're working on, I would like to collaborate, please feel free to schedule a coffee chat with me. Thank you, that's my contact, that's my email, my AVP email, and our chief's email. So, thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Give it up to Selena one more time. And now our student advocate, Lena. You might have a little, yes, thank you. Thank you. Oh, let's not, you know. Okay, amazing. Hello, everyone. I did not include an introduction slide, but my name is Rena. I use she, her pronouns and serve as the AACC student advocate, and I am a history and political science major. But it's really good to meet all of you if I have not met you before, and just a little bit about SAO and our recent updates, what we've just generally up to. We had our first all-staff meeting on Monday, which is really exciting. We've been generally having our internal chiefs meeting as well as our directors meetings. That typically looks like going over case trends that we typically see in our office. Yesterday we held a Know Your Rights workshop with LSJP, Law Students for Justice in Palestine, generally informing people of like what their rights are throughout the Center for Student Conduct procedure, how to file a complaint with OPHC, what the general process looks like when you're filing a report to the Title IX office in general. Definitely hoping to do a lot more Know Your Rights based workshops this year, as well as town halls this year. So that was like a really exciting, I think, precedent to set. Other meetings that we've been up to, I met recently with the Vice Chancellor of Equity and Inclusion, FAB, and the interim Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Equity and Success. All of this is generally in regards to SPSF, our Student Parent Support Fund, focusing on how we can support student parents, both in terms of private funding, setting up a way for donors to just generally donate to the Student Parent Support Fund, and then also trying to move ahead with a budget request, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Actually, I'll talk about it now. But our budget request is specifically we're hoping to submit 2 budget requests to the state. One is something that we've worked on for a couple of years now, and it's focused on setting around 10 FAFSA counselors across the different UCs. The other one, which we're currently drafting, is going to focus a lot more on childcare. How can Berkeley set a better precedent for childcare compared to like the other UCs? So we also met with UC Davis's equivalent of their reentry student program this morning to see what is their model of childcare like, how does it differ from ours. Met with the BNC director, and then also as kind of part of our recruitment cycle, we've been hoping to generally be better about like the demographics within our own office and how we can better serve students all around. So we've reached out to all the different CE3 centers, reaching out to the different recruitment and retention centers. So we've had meetings with the Transfer Student Center, with the Reentry Student Program. We also met with CSI and Senate League to discuss the Grief Absence Policy, internal policy board meeting, SAO, and the Student Advocate General, which is like UCSB's equivalent of the Student Advocate. We met with EOP, the Education Opportunity Program, to go over the Readmission Equity Grant, and we always review grant applications together. Met with the GA and met with EAP and UCSA to discuss SPSF very broadly. Okay, and yeah, general policy updates for SPSF. We've been meeting with several campus partners to see where to allocate Big C funds. We did receive some funding at the end of last year, and we're trying to determine like where is the best way to house the funds. Something that's consistently been brought up is because of the One Big Beautiful Bill. A lot of you're basically not eligible for certain like federal loans if you have a reduced course load. Very often it is student parents who aren't taking a full course load, so that's somewhere where we're thinking about housing funds. Something that we've talked about but not set in stone yet. And then we're also in the process of drafting a budget request for childcare grants, which I talked about a little bit. Really excited about that. A little bit tricky, but I'm really excited about that. And then at GAPS updates, as I said, we recently met to discuss the implementation of GAPS. We're still hearing a lot of concerns from the academic senate about how to centralize the process, but me and Dylan have been also working with our external chief of staff to see how we can go about implementing the policy. And hopefully we can push the academic senate, and also we're going to try and present additional data in regards to GAPS. And then yes, just generally our services, we are also recruiting, but we take cases from all 4 divisions: academic, conduct, financial aid, and grievance. All of them deal with their kind of respective levels of casework. And we receive, I want to say, around roughly 500 cases a year. So we are definitely hoping to hire around 20 caseworkers, I want to say. But you can always access our support through our helpline, which is there, help@sao.acc.org, or you can contact me directly, and my email on the next slide. But we also have office hours, virtual office hours, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12, and then you can come into our office in person from 12 to 5 downstairs. Yes, if you ever want to contact me, it can also be in regards to a case. You don't want to go through the helpline specifically, but we are, again, entirely free and confidential, but you can email me. That's my email. Our external chief of staff, Shubongi, and our internal chief of staff, Akshaya, they are not here, but they are amazing and wonderful. And then our Instagram, Berkeley SAO, and our website, which is back up. It was down a little in the summer, but we are back. Feel free to reach out at any point. All of our general like recruitment information also can be found on either the website or the Instagram. Are there any questions, concerns? Thank you. Perfect. Yep. Okay, and then just for a note going forward, I do recommend that you all, and I would encourage you all to be very engaged during reports from executives and appointments and our commissions and charter programs when they come. Commissions come once a month and charter programs come once a semester. So I do encourage you all to stay engaged and ask questions. Of course, take notes, but also stay engaged, ask questions, and always just pay attention because you never know what collaborations could come out of you doing that, or also just staying in the loop of what's going on within our wider association outside of the Senate as well. So do something in mind. But now we'll move on. Okay. Okay, so next is supposed to be a committee report from me for intersemester committee, but I technically already gave my report, so we're gonna move past that. Now we'll move on to public comment on the consent calendar. We will now move on to, agenda item number 9, public comment on the consent calendar or immediate consideration items. At this point in time, any member of the public may make a public comment relating to any pending business item listed on the consent calendar or on immediate consideration. Individuals who wish to speak may make one general public comment which may not exceed 2 minutes. Speakers cannot yield their time at any point. A reminder that this portion of the meeting is dedicated to matters directly relating to items on the consent calendar or immediate consideration. General public comments may not be made during this time. Once again, the Senate reserves the right to cut off speakers who have exceeded their allotted time, or remove speakers, or remove members of general public comment from the meeting if they constitute a serious disruption to the orderly conduct of Senate proceedings. At this time, if you'd like to give public comment on items on the consent calendar or immediate consideration, please make your way to the front of the room and line up on my right side. Okay, seeing here none, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is our second attendance roll call. So when you hear your name, please say that you're present. Starting off with Senator Abalian, Senator Aguilar, present. Senator Castellan, Senator Cheesebro, Senator Cho, Senator Ding, present. Senator Enriquez, present. Senator Espinoza, present. Senator Gray, present. Senator Hammond, present. Senator Jodhuff, present. Senator Justice Williams,
Present.
Senator Carlin,
Here.
Senator Lee,
Present.
Senator Putty,
Present.
Senator Pitcher,
Here.
Senator Singh,
Present.
Senator Tang, Transfer Representative for Community, Senator Torres, and Senator Tovar.
Present.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to the consent calendar. Okay, at this time, we'll now move on to agenda item number 11, pending business on the consent calendar. Is there a motion on the floor at this time for the consent calendar?
I move to approve everything on the consent calendar.
Senator Carlin moves to approve all items on the consent calendar. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Gray. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the motion passed. So all items on the consent calendar passed, which includes the EVP nomination for Brandon Yamada as ACC Spaces Director, and then the appointments of our senators and transportation representative to the various committees, to the three committees of COM, BICOM, and XCOM. And the nomination of Maddie Cheesebro to the Campus Advisory Committee on Sustainability, nomination of Giselle as Senate Admin Assistant, and then approval of minutes from our August IC meeting. Now we'll move on to immediate consideration items. The first reading. Okay, there we go. Daniel, when we go into recess now,
Do the vice chair first, then.
vice chair nomination first. Okay, do we have a motion for item A on committee consideration vice chair nomination for Senator Khan as Senate vice chair? Is there a motion?
I motion.
Senator Justice Williams moves to have to appoint Senator Khan as Senate vice chair. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Chang. Are there any objections? Seeing hearing none, Senator is officially as Senate vice chair. And we will now move on to committee breakout session. So pursuant to ACC bylaw 1220, section 3.1, after the membership of the standing committees is approved by the Senate shall immediately recess and meet as the standing committees. The Senate shall reconvene once each standing committee has elected its chair and vice chair by a majority vote. So now I assume a motion for us to go into recess for 15 minutes? Do 15 minutes.
I mean, do that.
Okay, so moved by Senator Carlin, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Estes, are there any objections? Seeing here none, we will now go into a 15-minute recess. Before you get out of your seats, let me explain what this means. So break out into your 3 standing committees. If you're in GovCom, go to this side, so your right-hand side, with Daniel, and then he'll kind of explain the process of electing a chair and vice chair. If you are in the finance committee, comes to this side by the graduate assembly sign with me, our CFO, will walk you through the election of chair and vice chair. And if you're in XCOM, go to the back of the room with me and we'll walk you through electing a chair and vice chair. Alright, the cursor, I'm like, I'm still getting used to.
Congratulations. We are actually just gonna mute that.
Were you silent? Or were you silent?
Please turn to your seats, please to the side of the lab.
I don't know how you got one. Did you work?
Is it gonna be updated on the spot right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are going to motion to approve item C through H on any consideration after tab we added. So we're gonna add the, we're gonna add the appointment of Senator Justice Williams as chair of GovCom, the appointment of Karen's representative for Missouri as vice chair of GovCom, the appointment of Senator Singh as chair of FICOM, the appointment of Senator Tang as vice chair of FICOM, the appointment of Senator Hannon as chair of XCOM, and the appointment of Senator Gray as vice chair of XCOM. Do we have a motion for items B through H on immediate consideration? C through H, sorry.
I motion to put items C through H on the
To approve them. Motion by Senator Agler to approve items C through H on immediate consideration, there's a second. Seconded by Senator Putty. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, motion has passed. Congratulations, everyone. And now we will move on. We don't have any items on new business, so now we will move on to announcements from you all. You each will have 2 minutes to give your announcements, and I will start on this side. And then I'll give it out when you have it. Awesome.
Hello, everyone, and I guess to those who don't know me in this room, I'll do a really quick introduction. My name is Emily. I'm a third year in political science. Use the Shooter series, and I'm the South Nation representative for this year, which is super exciting. And I have very little updates, but for me, I attended PASO, which is a Who Connects orientation this yesterday. I attended it yesterday, and it was really fun. Shout out to PASS, and Who Connects Academic Student Services. It was really fun, and also shout out to Senator Torres for being an amazing keynote speaker at the orientation, super inspiring. And then right after, I attended the swearing-in ceremony with all of you guys, and it was super fun and exciting, and I'm just really happy and looking forward to the year ahead of us and all of the work you guys will do for this upcoming year. And I am currently in the middle of recruiting right now, so last week I just ended my phase 1 deadline and doing interviews for that, and then phase 2 for me is starting next week. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here and happy first day of classes.
Hi everyone, it's great, I'm sure y'all wanna go home. So this summer I was in ISC, and then and I was also working with the DCC for the mural, so we're doing a mural using Fudge Monster, the Wellness Fund. And then I also spoke at a DSP town hall for youth students, which was also really great to get to introduce myself to the community, especially our new transfers, our new first years. But yeah, hope you guys all had a great first day of school and not too tired.
Everyone, happy birthday, I have no announcements.
Hey everyone, happy first day of class. My name is Nicole Aguilar, I go to Nikki, and I used to shoot for AS series. A few during SLI, me and Emma went to the media organization for a little bit, which was really fun. And then announcements on my part is just recruiting and getting the my chiefs settled, and as well as all contractors.
Hi, my name is Arjuna. I use the Shooter series. I represent the Memphis community. And so some updates. I had meetings with Swana, which is South Asian, Southwest Asian North African Resource Center on campus. We talked about how We wanted to try to accommodate students that are smaller on that side, identifying that aren't able to join senior weekend or aren't actually captured within the amount of recruitment that are on campus, which is really some of that recruitment center. And then we also talked about how Pensive office, subject office could possibly have meetings with administration. And then we also had a judo affinity space, which is really cool. We had over like 130 people attend, which was awesome. And then I've had communication with all the RSOs in the Mensa Coalition and just got their contacts and stuff. And then I'm also going through recruitment, so we got all of our director applications in, and then we're having our associate applications. They're already open, but we're posting officially tomorrow. So hey, again, I'm so excited for this year.
Hey everyone, just a couple of things over the summer, met with a couple of groups like Student Food Collective, CRAC, a couple others. Just talked about, goals for the year and ways that we collaborate and stuff, so looking forward to all that, also recruiting, yeah.
Hey all, my name is Maddie, I wish you pronouns represent the eco community. I sat on ISC this summer, so thank you for passing a resolution about reinstating a TEIJ working group and the campus advisory committee on sustainability, which I'm so excited to serve on again this year. Also preparing for Eco Community House, which is next Wednesday before Senate. You all should come 4 to 6 p.m. in Lower Sproul. Really great opportunity to learn more about the Eco Community resources and opportunities that we have on campus. We're also working on the follow through of our CASA grant that we got last year, and in recruitment, we have a few more drafts open. Associate applications are open as well. So happy birthday class, super excited for this year.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday for Senate meeting. So excited and grateful to be here. Yeah, for me this summer, I met with orgs and continuing to meet with applicants, commissions, and then other publicly held RSOs. I also attended class yesterday with MI and have honored to speak, so it was a great turnout and really excited to see all the new freshmen. I'm also going to be attending other RSO programming in the coming weeks, and then I am also still recruiting. It's still ongoing, and then phase 2 is due for me September 12th, so just trying to get more people involved and interested. I'm also preparing for hopefully our first whole stuff next week. I know it's early, but just trying to figure out ways to start since a lot of programming is already in the works. And then just wanted to prioritize one announcement. I've been posting it on our Instagram, but there is need for other students, especially Phil students or international students, to take Filipino 1Y. It's like a Filipino language course, and a lot of people, either international students or other students that need a language requirement, this is a great opportunity to do so. We basically, for some context, it's an online course, but unfortunately there was an enrollment policy that it got changed to 5 times a week, which made it less desirable for students to take. And right now there's 3 Filipino language courses, instructors, so it's hard for them to justify why all 3 of them need to teach, but it is like important to me that they all teach and that they all continue to teach these language courses, even though that a lot of people like that are doing academic policy work and things like that may not understand. So anyways, we need to increase the enrollment for Filipino and to ensure that they do teach. You do need to have prerequisite beforehand. All info's on our Instagram, but if you know anyone that might be eligible and interested, please spread the word. They're really low enrollment, so just wanting to prioritize that. But thank you all so much.
Hello, if you don't know me, my name is Cece and I use she, her pronouns. Announcements, it was the phase 1 deadline for my office. Now we're just doing like rolling applications through like mid-September about. Biggest announcement for my office is that last week we announced like the Purdue Tampa premium link. So that was pretty cool. We've had upwards of 2,000 student activations already. And so many students wanted to activate their account with the link broke for a minute and they got fixed. So that was cool. Also just connecting with organizations about drug safety supplies and whether or not they're available in different places. So that's been the whole outreach right now.
Hello everyone, I'm Tigran. I'm international student from Armenia. I represent the international student community, the Armenian community. If you remember, during SLA, we had Jeremiah here speaking about the whole international student issue, the new rules. The CPT is a work authorization that allows international students to work off campus to have internships. And they basically stopped issuing CPTs after a nice broadcast message. And ICE issued another broadcast message about the same thing, making it more strict, this Monday, and then Berkeley, after that, Berkeley International Office sent a statement that we're basically indefinitely, they're saying for foreseeable future, we're stopping CPTs if it's not a major requirement, unless you cannot graduate without that internship. So we're gonna discuss that with a few of our other senators, and please feel free to approach with any questions if you want to there.
Hello everyone, my name is Marisha Durbanori, I use she, her pronouns. Over the summer, myself and Ryan, and also the transfer office chair Rishi, put out a statement in regards to the Student Parent Center. Ryan and I met with the CE3 coordinators in regards to Student Parent Center. Essentially, there were a lot of, they lost their federal grant funding. I'll let Ryan talk a little bit more about that as well. I also met with the Transfer Student Center in regards to our goals and priorities for the year. This past Saturday, I spoke at the Transfer GBO Welcome, alongside my chief of staff, Brandon Maskey. Super cool, super full circle. And I also finished phase with my recruitment and confirmed my execs.
Hi everyone, my name is Brunor. I use the She/Her series. In terms of updates, my office is also going through recruitment currently. We're in phase 2, as well as Senators Singh, Transfer of Probatory, and Senator Talib and I are planning for Food Bazaar. So if you guys know any nurses that are interested, please feel free to chance. But that's it.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna Tovar. I use the She/Her series, and I essentially have been doing the same things as most of the senators recently. We had our swearing-in ceremony where we officially became senators, so that was a lot of fun. And there's been a few things happening within like the Native and Indigenous community as far as programming goes. The Indigenous and Native Coalition on campus launched their affinity space. We had a little meeting yesterday. Unfortunately, I couldn't go because of the ceremony, so they're both positive things. And then we also launched our Jumpstart program, promoting people to have a mentorship program as far as like applications go. And then as far as my applications go for office, those will be open on a rolling basis until September 5th. And then me and Senator Justice Williams will be tabling tomorrow from 12 to 2 on Sproul to come visit. Hi everybody, my name is Emma. I go by she or AI pronouns, and I'm one of the Latina community for senators. Happy FDoc also, and just also going through my first round of interviews, which have been going super awesome. I'm super excited to see all the engagement that we have with those so far. Kind of regarding stuff that was started over the summer, I was luckily enough to participate with the Berkeley Latino Nonprofit Network, which is a Berkeley citywide commission that meets, to participate on behalf of our student community at Berkeley, just trying to bridge those connections, which is super, super exciting. I also just accepted an invitation to sit on the Latinx Thriving Initiative Student Advisory Board as one of our senator representatives, which I'm super excited to participate with, as I got to see a lot of the amazing work that they've done through the Latinx Student Resource Center, which I'm also speaking at Latinx Student Resource Center next week. I think, yes. So a bunch of our questions, kind of just introduce some resources and a lot of what our campus has to offer, as well as providing sources of our space. Yeah, that's it for me. Hi everyone, my name is Haley. I use she, her pronouns, and I represent the Christian community. Basically, I'm also working on recruitment, and I'm also helping plan an event where we could have all the Christian fellowships on campus to table at the same time in the same place, so that it's easier for students to check them. Hi everyone, my name is Nikita. I'm a third year. I go by she, her pronouns. I represent the South Asian community, and I just wanted to take those 2 minutes to share that a lot of students today are celebrating Onam. Onam is a 10-day harvest and cultural festival celebrated in the southern Indian state of Kerala. It's known for its traditions like Ukalam, or ornate flower arrangements, traditional white eagle saris, and Sadhya, or vegetarian feast served on a banana leaf. Onam honors the land, the harvest, and equality, and is celebrated across religion, marking the new year. The annual birthday event for Onam is also on September 12th, and it's hosted by our associates in South Asian Caucus, and I really encourage you all to come out. I'll send you the invite when it is hosted, but I'd love to see a lot of you.
Hi everyone, not really much from our office at the moment, we just finished phase one recruitment, so all of our execs have been hired, I'm really excited about that, and then also. As Marsha mentioned, we did meet with CE3 about last week or 2 weeks ago. And I really just want to clarify that our conversation with CE3 definitely contextualized a lot of the problems that have been long-term facing like CE3 and student parent centered, but one thing that I think should be made clear is that this was not directed from CE3. They were in conversation with student parents, they made sure that those student parents were supported, had the reviews that they needed. And they have been trying to transition counselors to make sure that they can help absorb those student parents while CE3 faces these funding challenges, but we are in continued works of conversations with them on pursuing new funding avenues, so we'll have more updates on that as that develops. But overall, I'm just really excited for a new year, excited to really work with you all and collaborate, and yeah, just super grateful to be here.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Lee, my pronouns are he, him, and I represent the Black community. I've just kind of been doing some more housekeeping stuff, also in recruitment. I recently got my all staff time settled down, I have an executive for my department, so I'm really excited about that. It's been really fun doing this along with you guys and kind of getting settled for the school year. You guys are a lovely bunch, so we're looking forward to the school year, and it's a lot this year. Aside from just general housekeeping, I've been named a bunch of different awards in the Black community. I spoke at Black Student Orientation, which was over the course of one day and Tuesday. I really enjoyed getting to speak Monday, and then I really enjoyed getting to go out there to help new students during Black Week yesterday. Aside from that, I'm working on the HTC exchange program, working on the mentorship program, and so I'm sure more things will come and see ways to get settled. But other than that, thank you.
All right, yeah, hi, everybody. I'm Sandra Day, she, her pronouns, representing international East Asian students. Worked on over summer, first of all, we, extended international students deferral. So basically, it was due July 31st, but then we extended it by debating with the campus administration and also visiting multiple offices. Spent a whole week on this, we extended it to yesterday. They can defer their admission to here as international students. And then we also coffee chatted with 30 East Asian community RSOs throughout July and August. Shout out to Karen right there, my director. Thank you for doing that. We also released 2 major statements calling for support for the international students community with Tigran and Lenore. Thank you so much. And also with Margaret from the OP office. We also work closely with the UCSA International Students Affairs appointed officer Ray to establish planning proceedings to the International Students Town Hall. That's coming up soon. We also met with Margaret and also Archie, Margaret's chief, and also GA President Christie, GAVP and Campus Affairs Vice President, sent emails to Engineer and Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs Sunny Lee, also Family Vice Chancellor of Admission and Enrollment. Thank you, Margaret, for doing that. Also, sending out to Grant Life about international student struggles. We wrap up phase 1 application. We have 223 people on the team. And I also got interviewed by a reporter from Wall Street Journal on international student struggles with CPT. And what we're working on right now is we're onboarding new associates. Today's design we just released is actually for our next Tuesday's event. It's East Asian Club Fair. And it's actually on Eastern right now. If you like to support, it's released right now. Thank you so much. And also it's from our new associate, Selena. She's doing amazing from the CNN department. Shout out Selena. And we're also going to follow up in Bidilla and also Selena to see what we can do for CBT along with Tigran and Lenore to find out more plans for international students. And I'm also lastly excited for our next Tuesday events from 1 to 5 p.m. in Lower Straw. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, happy first day of classes. My name is Karina Gray and I use she, they pronouns, and I'm the woman and non-binary community group senator. And just a few updates. The first one is summer recruitment. We opened that a couple months ago and our director and priority deadlines had closed last week and we were able to successfully fill director roles and we're still open for application for associate intern roles until the end of September. So we'll be continuing recruitment in the next few weeks. And over the summer, I conducted research for the Gender Equity Resource Center, Women's Resources Research Project under the supervision of Gen X Women's Director. And this allowed me to better identify issue areas facing women and non-United students on our campus. And my cabinet and I have been using my research findings to help us raise tremendous for our office. And just some more general updates too. We completed SLI trainings, 40 hours of that.
Yay, and US Foreign Administrator was really exciting, and I also had my first in-person cabinet meeting today, literally right before this meeting, which was really exciting, and we're in the works of still planning our first all staff meeting, but we're gonna plan that within the next few weeks after we finalize recruitment. And then the final update is we tabling tomorrow for Calapooza from 4 to 6 p.m. at table 7, so please feel free to stop by and say hi or if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Matthew. It's gonna be pretty hard to follow sanitary crews at pace, just agreeing. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Recent updates. I'm gonna look forward to hearing them every week. So now we move on to adjournment, and I shall call the roll one last time before we adjourn. Please say present when you hear your name called. Starting off with Senator Agualia.
Here.
Senator Aguilar. Present. Senator Castellian. Senator Cheesebro. Senator Cho. Senator Ding.
Present.
Senator Enriquez. Senator Espinoza. Senator Gray. Senator Hammond. Senator Jodhuff.
Present.
Senator Justice Williams.
Present.
Senator Carlin.
Here.
Senator Lee.
Present.
Senator Patti.
Present.
Senator Pitcher.
Here.
Senator Singh.
Present.
Senator Tang.
Present.
Transfer Representative for Missouri. Senator Torres. And Senator Tovar.
Present.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
Senator Carlin moves to adjourn, seconded by Senator Jodhuff. Are there any objections? Seeing and hearing none, meeting is adjourned at 9:42.
Daniel!
Daniel, wait! Yay! Wait, let's take a picture. Yes. What?
So, I don't know where the answer is.